Timeless life philosophies.
Have you ever felt that nagging feeling that there's something more to life? Beyond what we can see, touch, and measure. Every day, we're navigating a world through the five senses: seeing, touching, hearing, tasting, and smelling. Our reality seems limited to what we can directly experience or explain. But what if I told you there's more? A hidden layer of existence, just beyond our immediate perception. This isn't just some mystical mumbo-jumbo. It's a real, tangible force that we all have access to, something I like to call the God force. Now you might be wondering, what is this God force? Imagine for a second that life as you know it is like watching a movie on an old, small TV. You see a part of the story, but not the full picture. What if you could switch to a widescreen, high-definition version where every detail is crisp and every color vibrant? That's what tapping into the God force is like. It's a shift in perspective, a new way of seeing the world that reveals the interconnectedness of everything around us. Imagine this. You're more than just flesh and bones walking through the world. You're a part of an expansive, infinite energy that connects every living thing, every atom, every star. It's all about understanding that there's a divine energy flowing through everything. Yes, even you. This force isn't something outside of you. It's within you, ready to be discovered. Today, we're going to explore this deeper reality. We're going to challenge everything you've been told about what's real and what isn't. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to prove that the God force isn't just real. It's the most powerful force in your life. The illusion of reality. Let's take a closer look at what we often take for granted, our perception of reality. Every day, we wake up and engage with the world using our five senses. We see the sunrise, taste our morning coffee, feel the warmth of the sun on our skin, hear the sounds of the city waking up, and smell the fresh air. This is what we call reality. But what if I told you this so-called reality is just an illusion, a limited snapshot of a much larger, more intricate picture? Think of reality as a giant iceberg. What we perceive with our senses is just the tip of that iceberg visible above the surface. But there's so much more beneath the water that we can't see. This hidden part is where the God force resides. It's the deeper spiritual connection that ties everything together, but most of us are too caught up in the visible world to notice it. We're like people looking through a keyhole, convinced that the tiny sliver of you is all there is, while a vast universe lies just beyond our line of sight. Imagine if you could zoom out and see the bigger picture, a cosmic view where every atom, every thought, every emotion is part of a grand, interconnected web. This isn't science fiction. It's a shift in consciousness, a new way of seeing that challenges the illusion of separateness. By recognizing that our senses only provide a partial view, we start to open ourselves to the possibility that there's much more at play. The God force is that unseen energy, the hidden glue that binds the universe together. And once you start to perceive beyond the illusion, you'll begin to understand that you are a vital part of this vast, interconnected whole. Tuning into the God force. Now that we've scratched the surface of this hidden reality, let's talk about how you can start tuning into it, how you can begin to tap into the God force. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a radio. Right now, it's probably tuned into a station that only plays the hits logic, reason, the material world. You're used to this station. It's familiar, comfortable, predictable. But just because it's what you're used to do doesn't mean it's the only one out there. There's a whole spectrum of frequencies you haven't even explored yet. Tuning into the God force is like switching the dial to a new station, one that plays a different kind of music, a symphony of vibrations and energies that are constantly around you, even if you don't notice them. You don't have to be special to pick up these frequencies. You just need to quiet the noise in your mind and listen. And how do you do that? By being present, by feeling the energy around you, and by opening your mind to the possibility that there is more than meets the eye. Think of the God force like Wi-Fi. It's always there, but if you're not connected, you can't access all that it offers. Your job is to become aware of this signal, to notice how it manifests in your everyday life. Start by recognizing that everything has this divine energy flowing through it: the trees, the air, even the objects you use daily. It's about realizing that nothing is truly separate from anything else. Everything is connected by this invisible thread of energy. By tuning into this connection, you begin to feel a sense of unity with the world, a profound peace and understanding that you are part of something far greater than yourself. The levels of connection. As you begin to tune into the God Force, you'll start to notice something interesting. Not everything resonates with this energy in the same way. It's like a light bulb; some shine brighter than others, depending on their wattage. Similarly, everything in existence holds this divine energy to varying degrees. You might be wondering, why is that? What determines how much of this energy something or someone has? Let's break it down. Think of a rock. It's solid, unmoving, and while it exists within the God Force, it doesn't express it as vividly as, say, a flower or a bird. A flower grows, reacts to sunlight, and has a life cycle. Its connection to the God Force is more dynamic, more alive. Then you have animals, like a worm or a bird. These creatures move, breathe, feel. They're more complex than plants or rocks, and therefore, they express more of this divine energy. And then there's us, humans. We have the unique ability to think, feel, create, and connect on deep emotional and spiritual levels. This makes us incredibly powerful vessels of the God Force. Some people are more in tune with this energy than others, just like some instruments are better tuned. You've probably met someone who seems to glow with life, someone who's deeply in touch with their emotions, their spirit, their sense of purpose. That's a person vibrating at a high frequency, fully aligned with the God Force. But here's the kicker: this isn't fixed. You can increase your connection to this divine energy. It's all about awareness, intention, and practice. The more you align yourself with positive emotions, thoughts, and actions, the more you amplify your connection to the God Force. You become like a powerful beacon of light, shining brighter and resonating more deeply with the universe, harnessing the power of feelings. Let's dive into one of the most crucial aspects of tapping into the God Force: your feelings. Now, we've all heard the saying, thoughts become things. And while there's truth to that, it's not the whole story. Thoughts are powerful, sure, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. The real magic happens when you combine thoughts with feelings. It's like adding fuel to a fire. Feelings are what give your thoughts the energy to manifest in the physical world. Think about it like this: your feelings are the strings of a guitar, and your thoughts are the strumming pattern. If your strings are out of tune, it doesn't matter how well you play, the music won't sound right. Similarly, if your feelings are misaligned, if you're filled with fear, anger, or doubt, then no matter how positive your thoughts are, you're not going to get the results you want. You've got to tune your emotional strings to resonate with the God Force. So, how do you do this? Start by paying attention to how you feel. Are your emotions lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they in harmony with the life you want to create? The God Force responds to the vibrations you put out. So when you align your feelings with love, gratitude, and joy, you're sending out high-frequency vibrations that attract similar energies back to you. It's like tuning into a radio station playing your favorite song. When you're in sync, everything just flows. And here's a pro tip: practice gratitude. It's one of the highest vibrations you can emit. When you're grateful, you're telling the universe, I'm in tune with the God Force, and I'm ready for more of this good stuff. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about focusing on the good, amplifying those positive feelings, and letting them guide your experience. That's how you harness the power of your feelings to tap into the God Force. The power of focus. Focus is like a magnifying glass for your energy. Whatever you focus on gets amplified, so it's essential to direct your attention wisely. This is a fundamental principle of the God Force: where your attention goes, energy flows. If you constantly focus on what's lacking in your life, on problems, on fears, you're inadvertently attracting more of that into your experience. It's like planting a garden and only watering the weeds. They're going to grow, crowding out the flowers. Imagine you're driving a car. If you keep looking in the rearview mirror, focusing on what's behind you, you're going to miss what's ahead. Worse, you might crash. The same goes for life. If you're always focused on past failures, regrets, or fears, you're not paying attention to the opportunities and blessings right in front of you. The God force is always guiding you toward your highest good, but you have to look forward to see it. So, how do you shift your focus to align more closely with the God force? Start by becoming aware of where your attention goes throughout the day. Are you constantly worrying about what could go wrong? Or are you excited about what could go right? It's a subtle shift, but it makes all the difference. Instead of saying, "I don't want to fail," say, "I'm excited to succeed." Instead of focusing on a lack of money, focus on the abundance that's available to you. Overcoming the ego. The ego, it's a tricky little thing, isn't it? It's that voice inside your head that's constantly chattering, constantly judging, constantly comparing. It tells you that you're not good enough, that you need more to be happy, that you need to control everything to feel safe. But here's the truth. The ego is not who you are. It's just a part of your mind that's trying to keep you in a box, trying to keep you from realizing your true infinite nature. The God force isn't interested in keeping you small. It's about expansion, connection, and growth. Think of the ego as a backseat driver, always trying to take the wheel, always thinking it knows best. But what happens when you let the ego drive? You end up taking detours into fear, anxiety, and doubt. The road gets bumpy, and you miss out on the scenic route, the one filled with joy, love, and abundance. To tap into the God force, you need to gently but firmly take back the wheel. How do you do this? Start by recognizing when the ego is talking. The ego loves to speak in absolutes. "I'll never be able to do that," or "everyone always leaves me." When you hear that voice, pause and take a step back. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this really me talking? Most of the time, you'll find it's just fear trying to keep you safe. Instead of arguing with the ego, acknowledge it and then let it go. Say to yourself, "I see you, ego, but I'm choosing a different path. I'm choosing to align with the God force." The signs around you. Let's talk about signs. You know, those little nudges from the universe that seem to come out of nowhere but feel strangely significant. Like when you're thinking about a friend and they suddenly call, or when you're feeling lost and a book falls off the shelf in front of you with exactly the guidance you needed. These moments aren't random. They're the universe's way of communicating with you, of guiding you toward your highest good. Think of these signs as the universe's GPS system. You might not always know the final destination, but these signs are like turn-by-turn directions guiding you along the path. The problem is, most of us are too distracted to notice them. We're so caught up in our daily grind, in our worries and to-do lists, that we overlook the universe's subtle signals. But when you start to tune into the God force, you become more aware of these signs, more attuned to the subtle language of the universe. How do you recognize these signs? Start by paying attention to the things that seem coincidental or out of the ordinary. If something catches your eye, piques your interest, or tugs at your emotions, that's a sign. Don't just brush it off as a coincidence. Ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? How is this connected to what I'm currently experiencing in my life? The power of serenity. Let's shift gears and talk about serenity, the calm, unshakable peace that comes from being fully present and aligned with the God force. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, finding serenity can seem like a tall order. But here's the secret. Serenity isn't about what's happening around you. It's about what's happening within you. It's about cultivating a sense of inner peace that remains steady no matter what external storms may come. Think of serenity like the eye of a hurricane. The winds may be swirling all around, but in the center, it's calm and still. This is the kind of power we're talking about, not a force that pushes or pulls, but a quiet strength that simply is. When you tap into this serenity, you're aligning with the God force. You're recognizing that true power doesn't come from controlling everything around you, but from finding balance within yourself. How do you cultivate this serenity? Start by creating moments of stillness in your day. You don't need hours of meditation or a trip to a mountaintop. Just a few minutes of deep, conscious breathing can make a world of difference. When you feel overwhelmed, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I am calm, I am centered, I am in alignment with the God force. Let that become your mantra, your anchor. Embracing the journey. So, we've talked about the illusion of reality, tuning into the God force, harnessing feelings, and the power of focus and serenity. Now let's bring it all together. Understanding and embracing the God force isn't about reaching a destination. It's about embarking on a journey of self-discovery, growth, and awakening. It's about learning to see the world through new eyes, to recognize the divine energy flowing through every moment, every interaction, every breath. This journey is like learning to dance. At first, you might feel clumsy and unsure, stepping on your own toes or stumbling over the beat. But with practice, you begin to find your rhythm. You start to move with the music instead of against it. You begin to feel the God force guiding your steps, leading you in a dance that's both beautiful and powerful. The more you trust the process, the more graceful your movements become. So, how do you prove to the world that the God force is real? How do you show that this isn't just some abstract idea, but a living, breathing force that can transform your life in profound ways? The answer is simple: by living it, by embodying it, by letting your life be the proof that they can't deny. Start by tuning into that deeper connection within you.